Hello, goblins. It's Chris, Eldritch Pipes. It's an episode of this week's Pipes. Been a good week. Weather's pretty fantastic at the moment. I'm smoking Solani Silver Flake. Just a pleasant, uncomplicated blend. There's like a barely condimental level of Perique in here, and like it's so low you can barely detect it. I can't detect it. All I know is that it comes across as a straight Virginia, but more interesting. That's as far as I can go on it. And today, because it's so summery, I'm drinking G&T. Cheers. I finished a bottle of British Bulldog gin the other day. I was kind of eager to get it out of the way because the one I wanted to try was this fellow. Roku Gin. Look at that guy. If you've ever seen or been lucky enough to try the Hibiki whiskey, it's in a similar faceted bottle, and it's very attractive. And this is a great gin. Roku Gin. If you like gin and you haven't had a chance to try it, I recommend it. What else? Oh, I was back at the NEC. It was the UK Games Expo over this weekend. Man, it was huge. So interesting. I love board games and card games. Well, my whole family do. So going to a board game expo. I say board game. I would say it was dominated by tabletop wargaming, like skirmish games and things like that, which is totally fine, you know, Warhammer and the like. It's not really what I do, although I have been playing a lot of Gloomhaven, but that's not a skirmish game, you know. It's a different kind of mindset. Yeah. But anyway, it was really great. Lots of fun. Like I say, huge, and like board game companies from all over the world, it seemed. It was massive. Certainly like a really strong Japanese element there. Seemed to be. I don't know if I've missed something, if the Japanese have really gotten into the board game space. But that was fun. And I've been watching on Netflix. This is a recommendation. Fiera. It is a Spanish show. Oh man, it's really good. It's a kind of I really want to give it away. I'm not going to give it away, but it's got really strong Lynch vibes, like really strong. Some of the visuals are lifted pretty straight off from some Lynch stuff, but it's Lynch with a story. So we know what Lynch is like. We know him, we love him, but let's face it, he's not strong with the story. So this is like people who like love the Lynch sort of visuals, but have a story to tell. It's really cool. Haven't finished it yet. got to like episode 6 of 9. 6 of 9, I think it is. And really enjoying it. So if you like weird things. We've been watching it with the subtitles. I don't know how you like to do it. It really depends on the show. Sometimes having it in English is what you want. But sometimes you really want to hear the actors' voices and then just read what they're saying. And in this one, we found that we really wanted to hear them speaking what they were saying. We also find that really true of like Nordic noir. Just really love hearing like the Nordic languages, like Danish and Swedish. There's just something about the way they speak, that gives it the atmosphere. Having just somebody speak English over it. If you're lucky enough, sometimes they overdub it with a Swedish actor who can speak English, so it's got the lilt to it. But there you go. Fiera. Look for it. All right, pipes then. It is this week's pipes. We should look at some pipes. One's a commission. One is available. This is this week's commission. It's an acorn. A few little tweaks. A few little aesthetic tweaks. Now, there may not be enough light in my workshop to really show it off. But this week I was really playing with fading in colour with the sandblast. I don't know if you can tell, but at this end of the shank, it's nearly pure cordovan, and then I start fading it out. Starts fading out from about the middle, and it goes more and more until on the bowl there's it's nearly a contrast between the cordovan and not orange, it's a British tan. It gives a very orangey, medium brown. So the idea is not to be like super high contrast. We'll get to that in a minute. The idea was just to give it some added interest. The grain on this was pleasant enough to sort of bring out and just make it a bit more lively rather than just like single colour all the way through, which can really work when you're wanting to highlight the texture of the pipe. But this can be a really pleasant effect as well. Now, someone asked me, sometimes you people ask me crazy questions. One guy asked me, I had like it was a snail actually. And the chamber on the snail is like a Dublin, it's conical. Yeah, so it starts off wide and narrows to the bottom. And it has to do that for a snail, because the outside body does that as well. And a guy asked me if I could make the chamber wider on the inside so it could take more tobacco. I went, nah, it doesn't work drilling doesn't work like that. You can do the same diameter all the way down, or you can get narrower, but you can't go wider without without getting into some shenanigans. That was interesting. But one guy, Canadian guy, sorry if you're watching this, I haven't actually got back to you yet, and I will do, was asking me if I could do a deeper bowl on the acorn. And I realised after thinking about it, because that sounded a bit nuts at first, deeper bowl. I realised what he really meant was a taller bowl, so like a stacked acorn. And actually, the more I've thought about it, the more I really like that idea. Doing a really sort of tall, I don't know, yeah, something like that. Like, might look a bit mad, but I think it could look quite sort of exotic. Could look sort of exotically elegant. I'll have to see. Oh, and this I paired with Orange Cumberland. That's a really nice sort of fluid piece there. Hmm. There is not a cloud in the sky. Pretty glorious. All right. This fellow is available. I tend to rotate certain shapes, so it's like some weeks it'll be, okay, what haven't I made in a while? And I hadn't made a sleek Dublin in a while, and I thought it's definitely time. And I struck upon a very nice piece of briar. So, as you can tell, so first of all, that's the sleek Dublin shape. It really sort of keens forward. It's super fast. You can like see the like it's not a beveled rim, but it's like a cambered. It's got a camber to it. It's just better than being like flat. Just helps with that sense of movement. Just kind of more exciting. But as you can see, kind of like really nice sort of medium blast there. But I really wanted to bring out the grain because the grain's really cool. It's really nice, straight grain, bang. And I really wanted to highlight that in a pretty stark, in sort of high contrast. And the same on the side as well. And so what I did for that, you can see, so the shank I've left is just dark cordovan, and underneath as well. And I've left the front and behind and the rim, so it's just revealing the sides, just the faces. And paired with my favourite stem material of the moment, the earth and ivory. So I reckon he's a pretty cool fellow. He's available. If you're interested, send me an email, devilsreef@gmail.com. Have a chat. He's terribly swoopy. All right. That's it. That's it for this week. I'll be back. I fully intend to be back next week with some more pipes. I'm going to try and make it, see how things pan out, but try and make an extra one available next week. So keep your eyes peeled if you're looking for something. I will see you next week. Until then, take it very easy. The Loyal Pipe Maker.